Alright guys, welcome back to DragonMaster's Finds. About a week ago, I went out with a friend of mine, James, over at J Philly Retro, and we went to a private pick for a whole bunch of Masters of the Universe figures. So I'm going to show you guys exactly what we picked up. Let's just see how we did for our total purchase cost of $500. We're going to start off here. We've got this Fisto figure, complete, and this is a Hong Kong version. Again, like I said, sometimes the region that these are from make a huge difference. We've got this Beastman figure, complete with all of his armor and accessories, and his weapon, his whip, is actually expensive on its own, so he's going to be a pretty high listed item. We've got this Cyclone complete. He's got his shield. Pretty cool, unique looking figure. Again, I didn't go through every single figure and figure out exactly, which version of them they are. It's going to be further research as they slowly get added onto my eBay store. We've got this 1984 Too Bad figure. As you see, he's a really large one, so he had to go in his own special-sized Ziploc baggie. Some of them were a little bit bigger than others, too. We've got this 1984 Grizzlor complete figure. This is one of the ones that has different color variations. So this is the regular common. This one has the brownish-orange face. If he had a black face, we are talking a difference of, I believe he's like a $30 or $40 figure. I'm not 100% sure. I'll throw up the comps. But the black face figure is like about $100. So a little bit sad we didn't get too many of those. Here we've got this Mechanic complete figure. He's got all of his armor. He's got his weapon. And it's funny because in the box, when I originally had him, he didn't have any of his stuff attached to him, so I ended up having to dig through all the weapons and identify the weapons and find out what goes to him to create this complete figure. Alright, next up here we have this 1985 Spikor complete with his weapon. He's a really awesome looking figure. So I'm actually not too knowledgeable about Masters of the Universe. A lot of this stuff I had to learn from James. He helped me out a great deal, so I was very appreciative to have him to come along with me for this purchase. And then he's been able to help me identify some of these guys that, maybe Google Lens or whatever didn't tell me about. We've got this 1981 Triclops. It's a Mexico branded version. He is complete, and I included one of the little Masters of the Universe comic books, which will be sold with him when I create the listing on eBay. We have two of these Leech figures. Now, here's where we go with these different color variations. This one is a lot rarer. He comes with his original red bow. You'll notice that the next one will have a gray bow. The bow is a kind of a common weapon that they used on a lot of these figures. Different colors, a little bit rarer than others, but the individual weapons sell for all about around the same price, between $7 and $8 for the bows. But this one here is a rare two-toned button edition. You see down there, the button that you press to have him squirt out water is a dark green and a light green, which makes him a rarer color variation. There's also ones that have black armor on the chest, or black, the feet are all black. Those are other color variations. There's so many different variations of this figure. And then we have here another, Leech complete. He has all one color button, so he's a little bit more common. We have, this guy was probably one of my favorite guys. His, I don't know if I can do it while he's inside the bag. His eyes pop out when you flip the little switch on his back. But this is, Mantina. Complete, comes with his bow. we have this 1985 Snout Spout. Another pretty cool villain. So these all do remind me, like, you know, it's obviously a show of the times. I learned this from my friend Nico, who's also another big Masters of the Universe fan, along with his father, is that they came out with the toys first, then the cartoon, then the comic book, or it's something mixed up in that order, but you can tell they are very 80s. They feel like the Ninja Turtles figures from back in the day. We have here this 1985 Ratlore Hong Kong figure. I like him. He makes a rattle noise. He's pretty cool. Yeah, I like that one. This is the 1981, the first run of He-Man figures. He is complete with all of his weapons. He is from Taiwan, and on my eBay store, this particular figure is actually paired up with this Battle Cat. This Battle Cat is also complete with all of his accessories. He's a little bit higher of a premium. I noticed that similar sets had sold for about the $110 range. He is currently available for $99 in my eBay store. Then, let's see here, we've got a red armored version of Zodak, complete. He has his gun. I don't know, you guys tell me, when I do list him, like, sometimes things with the word gun in them on eBay can be a little bit weird. I don't want him to get delisted. I don't know if I should put blaster or laser or something like that instead of the word gun. I don't want my eBay listing to get taken down. There are ones obviously up with the word gun in them, but people are a little strange. eBay is very, very strict with some of its policies, and I'm not trying to get in trouble. Here we have this battle-damaged He-Man. In James's video, he actually got the battle-damaged Skeletor, which I thought that I had the weapon for, but apparently not, so I gotta apologize to James. I can't give you a sword for that Skeletor, because it actually ended up going to one of these other figures. I didn't realize that it was for that, not for Skeletor. I paired this one up with an axe. I had a lot of these different axes left over when I was done, and the axe typically goes to the He-Man figures themselves, so paired him up with an axe. Here's one of my better finds here in this little collection. I have a Trapjaw. He is 90% complete, guys. He is missing his green belt. And that green belt is the difference between a lot of money. I could buy the belt to replace it himself for him and complete him, but it doesn't really make up the price difference. I'd have to find the belt relatively cheap, and they typically go for about $20. So I'm just gonna sell him as is. He's got his laser, he's got his hook, he's got his little claw. Just missing that little green belt. Here we have three of these guys, and they are all in varying conditions, but it's funny because they are all the same exact figure. They are a decent figure regardless, though. I do have this broken one. These are the 1981 Stinkors. They all have their armor, which is awesome. This one, his legs are broken. Yes, you can buy new bands to fix these, so I will list that and denote it in my eBay store that you can buy the replacements for them. Somebody, I had to try to get all the glue off that they glued around here onto the leg to try to fix them themselves in an easy attempt, and that didn't work. But we have a complete one here with his shield and his armor, and he's got all these figures, I think, for the most part, have the little soft heads, which is really cool. And then we have another one. He is incomplete. He will go for a little bit less money than the one with the shield. We have Webstore, complete. He is a rough one to find complete. So he has his blaster, and he has his hook, and he has his backpack armor that controls the hook. There is a little issue here. I don't know if I can get that to focus. The string does not go all the way through, and I'm not going to be the one to take this apart and try to fix that. What I did, however, is I tied the string around the hook because it was completely separated, and I wanted it to be sold complete. You get to add a bit of a premium. I have this 1983 Cobra Khan. But he shoots water. If you press down his head and fill up his belly with some water, he will squirt water out. And I got 2 of those figures. This other figure here I think is pretty neat, and I kind of wish he wasn't broken. This is another broken figure. Yes, you can try to find the replacement bands and get the rubber out from inside of his legs. I was not going to do all that. I hope that a more crafty eBay customer will be able to do that. So this is a 1984 Hordak. I don't know. I'm sorry. I do apologize. Again, I didn't watch the show. But he's an awesome looking figure. He's missing his weapon, but he is just a badass looking character, if I do say so myself. And he is another one that has a lot of different color variations. I believe this one is the more common version. He'd be worth a decent amount if his legs weren't broken, but I'll have to discount him, obviously. Man-E Faces. He is complete with his blaster. He's a neat one. He is actually one of the few ones that does not have a soft head. And I believe if you turn this little thing, I can't really do it with one hand because I'm holding my iPhone. But there we go. His face changes if you spin this little thing on top. Here we go. We have a rare variation. This is a 1982 He-Man from Mexico. So this Mexico version of this figure goes for another premium. His back armor is a little bit broken. I paired him with one of the original axes that would go with this figure when you purchased it. So he's at a little bit of a premium. I believe he's on sale right now in my store for about $40. I saw other sold comps for about $50, but the back part of their armor connected, so I dropped this price by about $10. This is Man-at-Arms, and he is complete. I thought he was incomplete because he's only wearing armor on one half of his body. It's funny, he is another one with the color variations. This is the common color variation, this orange armor. If he had the red armor or black armor or whatever other color armors they were a little bit more expensive. Unfortunately, he's just a common, but he is still a pretty pricey figure. Alright, next up we've got this 1983 Buzz-Off Complete Hong Kong edition. Oh, there we go. I was gonna say, no, where'd this thing go? He's got his little weapon, and he's got his little mask. This guy, I actually really like a lot. He reminds me more of a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle villain or something. But actually what he reminds me of, and I'll see if I can insert a clip in here, is the Bumblebee Man from The Simpsons. This one here actually gave one of these to James in his video. The part 1 of this, I will consider that. I gave him a copy of this. This is one of the more expensive figures. This Merman, and this one is complete. He has his sword, and he has his belt, bow, and his armor, and he is another one that if this little part here, this belt was green, he would be worth so much more money, but he's not. But he's still a great figure to come across. So if you see a guy that looks like this and you're out yard sailing, go ahead and pick him up. And next we have this Clawful figure. He is also complete. I forgot to write that on the box. He has his armor and his weapon. And as you know, having these complete makes a big difference. This guy here is Jitsu. I don't know why. I just not a big fan of this figure. I don't know what it is. But he has his glove. And he has his armor. And he's missing his weapon. This is an awesome figure, an awesome find, and actually, I don't know if I'm going to list him as is. or sell his weapons separately. His weapon actually had some pretty decent sold comps, and I didn't realize that before I paired them all together. This is Rio Blast, and he has so many little accessories. Again, you know, I'm going to try to do this with one hand and do this while he's still in the bag. He's got the little thing in his chest. He has his blaster on his one hand. He is missing his second blaster that goes in that hand, unfortunately. But he has both of these knee pad things that also come down and unfold, and they have little weapons and stuff inside of there. And as James had pointed out, it is very rare to find one that has both of the knee pads, or shin pads, or shoulder, or whatever. Some body part pad. We have this 90% complete Stratos figure. He is unfortunately, he is unfortunately missing one of these wings that goes on with him. And it's funny because his color variation is the opposite. His color variation would have a blue helmet and a brown armor and brown around the mask, and his wings would be blue. So I think that's pretty funny. I like that they do it that way. We have two of these Ram Mans. There was actually one that we saw in the box that me and James went through, and surprisingly both of these have their bracelets. The bracelets are just stickers, but it's very hard to find this figure with them, so I'm going to list them a little bit higher. These are both Taiwan versions. One of these was inside the Castle Grayskull, guys, so I was pretty happy to find that. And you see here, you can press their legs, and when you press the button, their legs extend and they're supposed to jump, but these guys are so old, I don't really think that they jump anymore, but the legs do still work, so they're just going to get listed as they are. We have two of these. James is looking this up. This is a figure he had never heard of before. This Stone Dar is a later character. Let me see. He is. Oh, I didn't write the year down on these. So we have two of them. One is incomplete. It does not have his weapon. But then as I was going through the box, guys, I found this one, and I found his weapon to go with him. So we have one complete and one incomplete. This guy was my biggest find. This is a MOTU lock. He is a figure that comes with so many different pieces. He is almost complete. He is missing, I can't even really get it. So you see this little piece around his neck. It's a little hard to focus on. This little piece around his neck, you could get another one of those and you can connect his arm there, and this loose arm that's in here in this box, or in this bag somewhere. But he's an expensive figure because of how many different pieces he comes with, and his gun there was two of these guns and an additional piece of this tail. So I'm gonna actually have some little extra pieces left over that will be listed on my eBay store eventually. Yeah, definitely an awesome figure. I'm pretty happy about that one. We have this Roboto. He is complete. He has all three parts of his blaster, and I paired this one up with one of the Masters of the Universe comic books to get a little bit more of a premium out of him. I just thought he was really cool, and he's one of the more expensive figures, and so I figured I could get a little bit more out of him by including the comic book. And as far as the figures go, the last one here is this Whiplash. He is complete with his weapon. So that is it for the figures, not counting, I'm sorry. There is an additional Battle Cat figure. This one comes with no armor, but he will be listed on my store. He'll be a lot cheaper than the one that comes with the battle armor. And then I have this one already listed on my eBay store. This is Panther. He is the riding cat that Skeletor rides. I thought it was pretty interesting. Out of all these figures, I did not get a Skeletor. But this Panther is complete with his armor, and so he is listed on my store right now. I might actually delist him and list him with this, with the Battle Cat. Just try to make a little bit more money there, a little bit quicker. is just such an awesome figure. He is flocked, so he has that little flocked fuzzy material. The bad thing is that this fuzzy material falls off after years and years of kind of sitting around. So he is missing some spots. But guys, there are ones that are listed that are just completely naked. So I'm pretty happy to have this one, that he still has so much of the fur and stuff left on him. And I have this 1985 King Hiss shield. These, to help me keep track, you know, they're listed right here with about the average that they sell for. Next up after that 1985 King Hiss shield, we have some of these 1981 He-Man sword and axe. The reason why I have this written down here too, it says MOTU Faker Blue. That is to help me find the sold comp. There's one that's sold using that keyword Faker. I don't know what that means exactly, but I'm going to try to get a premium out of it. And that sold for $16 the last time somebody used that keyword, so I'm going to try that myself and try to make a little bit extra money. That is all this job is about, is trying to make as much money as you can. Here we have this Stilt Stalker gun, or side gun I think it was called. Not very expensive. $4 plus shipping maybe. Here we go. This one was a big one. This MOTU lock gun accessory. One sold for $20. That is around the asking price I'm going to have. And of course I always accept best offers. I tend not to accept best offers, or maybe I throw out offers to watchers a little bit more often while I'm trying to recuperate my initial buy cost. And like I said, my buy cost was $500, so after that $500, I'm a little bit more lenient of giving discounts for things. We have here this Night Stalker side gun. This one's, I actually think this is kind of neat looking weapon. I was kind of hoping it went to a figure because it's actually a pretty cool looking weapon. But this goes for about $7.50 plus shipping. And the last thing in this little box here was this Triceraton TMNT weapon. It is a little sad. I already sold the Triceraton figure not that long ago. That was just part of a random collection that I had of TMNT figures that were my own personal ones, and I just ended up selling some of them. And of course I find the weapons that go with it, which means I would have been able to charge a little bit more for the figure, but that's the way things go. But these two weapons together should sell for about $9 in plus shipping, so not that big of a deal, you know, a little bit of extra money there. This stuff here is not priced out. This stuff is not comped out at all. I don't know what they're worth. I remember looking these up. They're not very expensive, maybe $10 a piece plus shipping. I don't know. We're going to get into the exciting stuff, the stuff that you've been waiting for. I'm going to warn you. I'm going to show you the Castle Grayskull. I am not going to take it out of the box again. It was a pain to get it all built and put together to take the pictures of in the listing, but my eBay store is in the description. If you want to see the pictures, you go there and check them out. It is very awesome. It is almost complete. It has some wear. It is a very old toy, and it is obviously very fragile. So again, I'm not going to take it in and out of the box multiple times. I'm sorry, guys. Just go check it out on my eBay store. But let's go take a look at the box and all that. Alright, guys, and here we go. This is the granddaddy of them all. This is the Castle Grayskull in its original box. Unfortunately, somebody put tape on the box, and I know, people go, well, I gotta try to preserve the shape of it and everything, but I'm gonna tell you guys, if you guys are collectors or you're new to collecting, it is better to have a damaged box than to put tape on it. Here's the castle. Here is what it looks like on the inside, and some of the accessories, and some of the figures that you can pair with it. And just all these awesome things. This one is missing this little sword. Such a shame. But it has the working elevator, and the string is still on the elevator, and all of that stuff. And you know that it's original because look at this, ladies and gentlemen. That is the original Toy Store price tag right there. So you know this came from a very, very old store. This is not a repro Masters of the Universe castle. These are listed separately on my eBay page. This one is missing a lot of pieces. There is a lot of pieces that go to this. I currently have this one listed for $49 on my eBay store. It has a lot of the cool stuff on the inside still. Some of these original stickers and all that stuff. And the microphone. This microphone here, which is often missing or broken, or the cable is ripped in half. This one is not. It is not. And the microphone is working. I have tested that out to make sure. Like I said, this one is $49.87 on my eBay page. And this Castle Grayskull is up for auction right now. I have the auction started at $449. I felt like that was fair. The last one that sold for a very high premium had the box. Was less complete than this one and sold for over $600. So, like I said, this one, if you want to go watch it on my eBay page, the auction ends on Sunday. I would like to get this sold, and I would love to get it sold to one of my viewers, who are very few and far between, or one of James's viewers who came over from James recommending my channel to them. And so that is everything. Guys, that's everything that I've got from this sale. $500 is what we paid for all of that stuff. I feel like we're going to do pretty well on it. Again, like I said, I can't really start accepting very heavy discount offers on stuff until I recuperate that initial $500. But there's so much stuff here that I feel like if the castle sells for about that $450 at least, I can start accepting more aggressive offers. I just feel like that's fair for anybody who is a reseller. You have to consider, a lot of people don't consider when they are buying from resellers. One, we are not experts in everything that we sell. Two, if I have an item, and this happens very frequently, and it gets a little frustrating because reselling, we are all human. It is a very emotionally based thing. I will get items that I have listed for, you know, we'll say some of my DVDs that are listed for $7, $8 plus free shipping. And I will get people who shoot me an offer for, can you sell it to me for $4? And the answer is no, because it costs, no matter what, it costs me $4 to ship that item. I'm not willing to lose 92 cents on selling an item like that. So same goes with selling big parts of this collection. I have to make up my money first, then I can start giving bigger discounts. Because then after you recoup your money and everything is profit, it makes more sense to sell it for lower dollar values. So that's all I really want to say about that. I do thank you guys for watching. As you can see, I think the time has changed significantly since I started filming this. I don't think it was this bright and sunny out earlier. But yeah, follow along. You'll see more purchases like this in the future, I'm sure. And especially working with James, we plan on going to a few sales together that we already have kind of planned out, semi-planned out, that we'll be going to together and recording. You'll notice even in James's video, like I was not recording during the purchase of all this. I let him do the recording there. I don't tend to record when I'm out doing yard sales. It's a little bit more awkward. I'm always trying to look things up on my phone. I thank you guys for coming. Please comment, subscribe, ring the little bell for notifications for when I upload. And that's normally about 1 to 2 episodes on my channel per week. So thank you guys. Thanks for following along. And you guys have a blast out there hunting and reselling.